The Arc Raiders patch 1.13.0 is out. Today is January 27th. It is update day, and there are a lot of updates to go over. There's a lot of beautiful updates and just a bunch of general bug fixes. So we're just going to quickly kind of go over them here so that if you haven't seen them yet, if you don't want to read it all, well, then you can listen to this audio book here and I will tell you. So let's get into it. So, oh my God, went really far. Okay, so what's new? First, solo versus squads. They came out with a PvP update. I thought they said they would never come out with a PvP update, but they came out with a PvP update. So, solo versus a squad. You can see it's a new matchmaking option for experiencing and highly skilled players who enjoy the PvP aspect of the game. Solo Raiders level 40 and above will get the solo versus a squad toggle above matchmaking to join the squad's queue and tackle squads of Raiders head on. When opting in, they receive 20% bonus XP at the end of the round on both successful extract and defeat. So even if you die, you get 20% bonus XP. If you're looking to just power level some levels, that might be the way to do it. But solo versus squads might eliminate some of the sweats that you're getting in solos just because of the fact that you're not going to be getting murdered in solos anymore because they're going to be like, oh, I'm good. I can fight 3 people. Why not? Or maybe even 2 people, bring it on. Trophy display, a new long-term project which requires players to hunt increasingly dangerous groups of arcs to submit their parts for rewards. Raiders will be able to build a new display case over 5 different steps, same as the Candleberry project. So you have to put each individual thing in and over and over and over. And each level will add a new item to display in the case. That'd be kind of cool to see like a display case in the background of your room though. The rewards for completing each step include blueprints, as well as Raider tokens. Full completion also brings additional rewards, including a Howl emote, a guitar, and 300,000 space coins. Not too shabby. There's currently no fixed date and will not be impacted by expedition resets. All right, so we are not getting that anytime soon, maybe, but they are coming out with it eventually, so kind of cool. Now for the Buried City update. Bird City. Flocks of birds have moved into Buried City, building nests and empty chimneys. We got some reports of them storing shiny trinkets inside, so make sure to inspect them. This new permanent map condition will be applied to all Buried City map only, which will cycle in and out of rotation weekly. There will be more bird traps and zip lines present on the map. Raiders can expect more combat in, on, or around the rooftops, including more flying arc and more players in proximity. So basically, the birds are hiding trinkets. You can get more money. You can get more valuables out of the chimneys. There's going to be more zip lines, and there's going to be more chimneys and everything on the roof as well. So expect resistance there. I'm sure that's not going to be 8 hornets camping around each chimney or anything. No. Anyway, 2 new types of epic augments. Beautiful. It doesn't go into any more explanation other than that. But 7 new quests, which I hate seeing because I hate quests. But headwinds, ready to go in against the odds. I thought I could. There we go. Okay, I was going to say, I know I just clicked into it earlier. The ice is melted. You've survived one of the most punishing winters in recorded Rust Belt history. Others weren't so lucky. So this is like after the cold snap, it's saying. Right there, body survive, begin to thaw, revealing a hard and resolute spirit. The cold snap either kills you or makes you stronger. The top side is experiencing more and more rages, going against the odds, even greater glory and rewards. On January 27th, our Headwinds update arrives. So you got the solo versus squads, which we've already done. Trophy display, which we've already talked about. Bird City, we've already talked about. Headwinds also introducing 2 new cosmetic sets suitable for going up against the odds, which is a Sandwalker set. So the Headwinds is kind of basically like the general broad update of this whole thing. So that's like these updates here. I don't care, Java, go away. That's like these updates here. That's what is basically the category is called headwinds. So now we get the patch highlights. The option to set your party to open so that your embark friends can join seamlessly even when you're in a round waiting for you to go to the next match. Squad invites. Now everybody, as well as a party leader, can invite, not just a party leader. Some achievement fixes. The Stella Montis Seed Vault extract fix. That is a big thing to note. I'm surprised that wasn't like the headline of this entire thing. That is the vault where, you could get up top and it wouldn't extract, and then they could extract camp on Stella Montis, and then as soon as you go into extract, you just get murdered by somebody camping on top of the pipes. That is that one. That is a big one. Mouse smoothing option added, gamepad rebinding. So they're already coming out with some fixes to things, some like that. For example, the Stella Montis Seed Vault extract fix. They knew it was a problem. A lot of people complained about it, and they fixed it. Boom. Done. Granted, I still think there should be kind of punishment for the people that did it, but there were so many people doing it, it's probably hard to track unless they got reported for it, which, and in that case, they would have to go into every single report, which a lot of people get reported. So, I mean, either or, they fixed it. Thank you. The achievements. Fix an issue causing progress towards enemy of my enemy achievement to not get tracked. Fixed issues causing hook, line, and sinker achievement to not track correctly. So a couple achievements were bugged. There you go. They are fixed. The arc. This one's kind of scary. The arc traversing obstacles have been improved. The leaper is now better at walking when it loses its legs. It's going to lose a leg and full sprint at you and kill you. The shredder. Dead shredders are now properly labeled as scavengeable when pinged. That's not a big thing, but that's just showing you that it's still scavengeable. The snitch fixed an issue where snitches would abort calling down ARC players if they threw a lure grenade during the call. So you cannot bait them into leaving and going away. If they're already calling them in, they're going to call them in regardless. Snitches will no longer make noise after they are destroyed. The spotter fixed an issue where spotters would follow players into buildings and get stuck. The tick. When grabbed by the tick, players will now have a brief window of time where they can dodge roll to remove the tick. Okay, that's nice. Just insta-spam the roll. Okay. Audio fixed an issue where emotes were missing voice lines in the store and customization preview. Fixed voice chat cutting in some cases. That was also a big one because I don't know if you've ever noticed or not, but the people's voice cutting out in proximity chat was a big thing. Like, you could not understand what people were saying because it was just cutting out like half the time. Improved voice chat connection. Beautiful. Some nice fixes there. All right. These ones are also, like, there was a lot of big updates in this one. So, in general, the maps, the types of containers that can spawn condition-specific blueprints have been lowered during electromagnetic storm, hidden bunker, and locked gate. So they're basically saying that the loot's kind of going down a little bit in those, which is kind of okay because I've seen people getting like 6 blueprints in one raid, which is kind of just ridiculous. But either or, I think that's a good one. Raise the chances of finding higher tier weapons in weapon cases. If you've opened weapon cases, a lot of them, like I have, and you continuously get arpeggios and not even getting good weapons, like you're just getting, like, say, any green weapon or anything. I get a lot of pharaohs out of them for some reason. Like, that is a big one. So now, hopefully, can find better tiered weapons and weapon cases, because that doesn't even make sense to get a weapon case, and then you literally just go and find an arpeggio every single round. Like, it's just not worth opening at that point. Slightly lower the chances of finding matriarch and queen unique parts and their armor pieces to make it a bit harder to get them without destroying them completely. Basically, it's saying if you're searching the legs or you're searching the pieces that fall off of it, there's a lower chance to find the actual matriarch parts and the cores rather than searching just the core. So that's good because then there's going to be less of them and there's going to make them more rare and make it, you have a better reason to fully kill it. But that's also going to be bad because then there's going to be people saying, "Hey, I killed it. I got the final kill. I deserve the core." So they're going to run straight to the core. And there's going to be 8 other guys over to the north that are going to be like, "I think I deserve it. I did the most damage." So you're probably going to get shot even more when you're trying to get matriarch cores now. But that is a good update. I mean, it's helpful because, again, it doesn't spawn as many of them into the game and you don't have people leaving a raid with 15 of them. But at the same time, if you're just trying to, be peaceful and go get one yourself, it might not happen anymore. Fix multiple containers across all maps that were not interactable. I know a few of those. There would be like, something sitting on a shelf you couldn't get to, or containers that they just wouldn't open for some reason. But now they fixed those. Fixed the raider hatch timing bug and a camera getting stuck when the interaction fails. That one's not even just the raider hatch timing. We were in a game where my buddy went to open a drawer, and for some reason he went to open it, and he just couldn't do anything. The drawer never opened. It opened physically, but his screen didn't do anything. He couldn't move. He couldn't do anything. He had to physically exit the game and come back in for it to actually reset. So hopefully that will fix that issue as well. Or at least, what causes that issue. So on Dam Battlegrounds, we tweaked some of the cliffs around the Raider Outpost tower on the dam where the players tended to get stuck. They adjusted the elevator shaft collision to prevent players from getting stuck on the dam control tower. Fixed collision issues inside the pattern house on Dam Battlegrounds, and fixed an issue where players could reach an unintended location in water treatment. So they're already fixing some of the things like that, where you could either roll through a wall or you could go through a wall, you could glitch out of the map, do whatever. They're already fixing those things. So this is a great step and great progress because there's a lot of that happening. And a lot of people saying that they don't even want to play the game because of it. So that's a big plus right there. Buried City, we removed an invisible wall in a nook beneath the Buried City highway and removed all the musical puzzle from Buried City. The guitar is now purchasable at Shawnee's. Well, there you go. So that puzzle where you had to click all the buttons and then go into that room and get a billion guitars and recorders and stuff like that, that's gone. But now you can buy the guitar from a trader. So that's a plus. Spaceport. Fixed an issue where rocks and grass would float in the air on Spaceport. That's not really a big one, but that's hilarious that was happening. Adjusted the arc spawn location during hidden bunker and bunker antennas to try to make sure they can't spawn directly on top of the antennas. So basically, whenever you're on hidden bunker and you gotta go call the stuff in to go get to open the bunker, they were literally spawning right where the antennas were, and you had to fight every single time. But now they fixed that to where they try to make sure that they can't spawn there, so it makes it a little bit easier to use the antennas without dying. Stella Montis, the big ones. Fixed the seed vault extraction glitch on Stella Montis that allowed players to remain in the extraction point after it had closed. That is the big one. You cannot get on those pipes anymore. I'm betting they put an invisible barrier up there, or something along those lines that just makes it so you cannot get on those pipes. You can't stay in there. So now if you go to extract there, you open the extract, it'll be completely safe. Well, I shouldn't say completely. Someone's probably going to find a way to glitch somehow, but it'll be safe, quote unquote, to extract. That should have been the only thing that they could do. Hopefully, there's nothing new in there, but that should be safe extract now. So hopefully, fingers crossed that it is. The night raid lighting has been updated with most lamps turned off, so now the night raid is even darker on Stella Montis, which, if you've ever been to a Stella Montis night raid, you can't see much of anything, let alone having less light now, but it is a night raid, so it makes sense. This is the one I enjoyed. Fixed 40 locations on Stella Montis where players would frequently get stuck. You mean to tell me there was 40 locations, one map, where people frequently got stuck? If there's like 3 or 4, like, oh, hey, this staircase, you glitch a little bit, whatever, but there were 40? Given the fact that's an insane number, but it's also even more insane that they fixed them all. That alone probably took a few hours of their time, just creating barriers, fixing that stuff. Like that alone is just a lot of time right there. Like, shout out to Embark for fixing just that. That is insane. That they're literally taking every single one of these little things into consideration when they do these updates. That is a great sign. We fixed the Bastion and Salamandas being able to spawn out of bounds and attack players through walls. I've never had that happen to me. I've seen it happen though. Because I've never died to it, it was hilarious, but I would not want that to happen to me, so kudos to fixing that one. The miscellaneous, we'll just kind of power through here. Various crash fixes, an option for mouse smoothing, added a matchmaking delay option for stream sniping mitigation. There you go, Peanut. There you go. That's also a big one. I know it's not just Peanut either. There's a lot of streamers that were complaining about that. So yeah, matchmaking delay option for stream sniping. That is a big one. That way they don't have to delay their stream. That way they can still interact more, quickly, stuff like that. That's a good one. Fixed an issue that allowed players to play the guitar while using the zipline. Kind of an odd one, but all right. Made aim assist consistent across all different frame rates. Oh, now the poor people are going to be better at shooting. All right, cool. That was another one that I just seen clips about, that the frame rate made, if you had lower frame rate, basically, like if you had a bad monitor or if you had like a bad computer, the aim assist was actually worse than it was on like a better computer with, 200 FPS or something like that. So that's a good one. Fixed issues with inputs not always registering frame rates above 30, which obviously it would cause a lot of choppiness and everything, so that's a good one. Fixed an issue where one of macros sets helmets variants appeared incorrect in game. Fixed some trinket items not being placeable in trinket slots. Fixed various clipping issues. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused the sun lens flare VFX to show up even if the sun was behind thick clouds. Fixed an issue where the selected codex entry was not always visible. Fireworks boxes will set off randomly after deploying Raider gets knocked out. Fix some graphic settings, resetting the default on restarting the game on PS5. Lighting polish on various maps. Not too shabby miscellaneous updates there, a couple big ones. Movement, fix an issue where player movement input would temporarily be unresponsive after having network connection issues. Fix an issue where players would fall off a ladder when attempting to descend shortly after climbing to the top. Fix an issue where players would automatically jump off a ladder when entering while crouched. That one's happened to me a couple times. It is not fun. UI, we added a new tab to the options menu that allows free rebinding of most gamepad buttons. Fixed the display of VoIP trigger actions when playing on the gamepad on PC. Improved wording to make current VoIP mode push to talk versus toggle to talk more obvious. Fixed an issue where the UI would sometimes display too low inventory value in the Expedition signup. Fixed an issue where weapons placed in the Expedition provided stash slots did not appear in the weapons upgrade screen. Fixed an issue where items amounts didn't display for non-stackable items in projects donation rewards and trials rewards. Added the option of open party so Embark and platform friends can join seamlessly even whenever you're waiting to join a match. Added the option for squad mates to invite others as well as the party leader. A new display will be shown when a friend joins the party of a player that is topside. For users who have Discord linked, you can now invite Discord friends to play or have Discord friends join you straight if you have open party enabled. That is a nice one as well. I like that one. Utility, fix the zipline anchor point, updating its position correctly when on a moving platform. Changing augments in a loadout now arranges the excess items in the stash better. Fixed an issue where two players using a defibrillator at the same time would revive a down player with full HP. Nice. Added additional interactions to the final objective of the groundbreaking quest. Anti-cheat. A 3 strikes a progressive ban system is in the process of being implemented. Bans will now progress from 30 days to 60, and then finally a permaban for repeat offenders. So, yet again, there's obviously been a big cheating problem in this game. I've come across a couple of them. I see streamers that come across a lot of them, a lot of stream sniping cheaters at the same time. So that one is big. And I know unless you like get mass reported or something, they use like I'm pretty sure you could get permabanned if you got like mass reported by people. But now it'll be 30, 60, 90 days. So that's good, but at the same time, the cheaters are just going to be like, "Oh, I got two strikes. It's fine." They'll cheat twice, and then they won't do it again, or they'll find some way around it. But obviously, taking anti-cheat measures and taking the stream delay measures and everything is a great step in the right direction. And the anti-cheat, giving a 30, 60, and permanent ban, even 30 days, like that is a long time to wait. Somebody's probably just going to try to buy the game again, make a new account at 30 days. So I like it. I like the anti-cheat implemented. And the known issues, a solo versus squads matchmaking option does not currently have a pop-up when the option becomes available, when you're reaching level 40 or above. So if you're already above level 40 or if you hit level 40, nothing pops up like, hey, you can do this now. It just doesn't tell you that. So if you're above level 40 or you are level 40, you can do solos versus squads. It just won't tell you. Cosmetics acquirable through the Raider tokens that have not yet been purchased may be missing from the customizations menu. One of the Marco set helmet variants may appear incorrectly in the preview and the menu, but will appear correctly in game. Players may occasionally not receive a skill point as indicated in the results screen. A reboot/playing another round fixes the issue. That is it for the January 1.13.0 update. See you topside, Austin, if I pronounced that right. I don't know. I apologize if not. But overall, this is a huge patch. Like, normally, you see games like this, and they don't do big patches, or they'll do like, oh, fix this bug, fix this little thing, fix that little thing. But like, Arc Raiders just went straight in, and they were like, you complained about this, we fixed it. We fixed it. This, we fixed it. Like, there was a bunch of stuff in there that I've never seen anybody complain about, that they still did, that they're fixing. And then, like, even like, quality of life stuff, like just the, where we got there in general, like, oh yeah, weapon cases now you have a better chance of finding higher tier weapons. Like, that's a big one because I've searched tons of weapon cases and only gotten, an Arpeggio or something like that. So that's a really nice one. Overall, this was a great patch. I didn't see anything in it that, well, I was like, okay, why would you do that or something like that. They all seem like very solid, very good updates to help the longevity of this game. And even bringing the updates like the birds, like, that's a cool update. Like, you always see birds in groups and flying around and stuff like that, but they never had a purpose. Well, they quickly gave him a purpose. You can now find more trinkets. So if you're struggling to get your expedition, this and that, just go hunt chimneys. There you go. Go fight other people that are hunting chimneys. There you go. But let me know what you think about the 1.13.0 update here. And again, January 27th, brand new update to Arc Raiders. So I'm about to go jump in, get the update going, and see how it is. I'll see you topside.